Welcome back to the channel, folks. Going to go through a couple of ways I've dealt with a couple of paint defects. The roof I'm going to come back to with a different video. I'm going to split these videos up a little bit now to show what I'm doing bit by bit. So on this one, we got the flies in the bonnet we need to sort out, and the run in the rear quarter there to sort out. So I'll show what I did with those. Thank you for your comments and suggestions. I've gone with the process I've used before and it's worked well for me. So watch your space and see what we do. Okie doke, cunning plan time. So mixed up a bit of paint in a tub there, just a small amount. I've got a nice quality Harris brush. I'm going to see if I can brush this over just to repair that. I've had to go flatting out. You can see the top of the wing there. I've flatted that out and given that I've only flatted it with 1200 and just given it a quick cursory over with G3 and a cloth. So I haven't done a proper machine polish or anything on it, just by hand. It's very quick just to see what happens. I'm quite buoyed with how quickly that's come up. On the bonnet, where the flies decided they wanted to commit suicide into the paint, these are not flattening out. So what I might try and do, and it's worth trying because I'm going to have to repaint the bonnet anyway, is just chip those out slightly and get a small brush and dip them in as if I'm repairing a paint chip while the paint is still fresh enough to do that. I think that will work. And a couple of other areas it need brushing in, like around here. Somebody commented that, you know, you're going to have to respray the rear quarter because of that. Well, of course I don't. And these areas and stuff like this. So just going to brush those in and see what happens. And on here, I have flatted that back with 600 grit as well. So hopefully I can just get that edge put in. Because this paint does brush quite nicely as it happens. Then flat it back to it. Lovely, that's gone on there quite nicely. Come back after and do another coat on that. Right, okay, the idea here is just get a razor blade and chip these out and fill the chips in. Thinking flies. Right, a small brush now and dab a bit of paint on those and see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? Right, that's brushed onto there surprisingly well as it happens, so I'll leave that alone. Get that set off, we can flat that into the paint. And the same with these two little pib nibs here, so I've managed to fill those up. It's been interesting to see what happens when that dries back. So a couple of repairs hopefully. Alright, let's see how we get on now with these areas we've daubed a bit of paint into, one there and one there. So what I've got is some 600 wet to dry wrapped around a bit of a mixing stick, And I started off with trying to wrap it around closely, but then discovered if you just take a strip off and wrap it like this, you can then grip it tightly, which holds it tight against the blade, against the bit of mixing stick, in a bit of water. Let's get it on in shot here. I think that's it. And just very gently well, it's worked, but a bit of the fly is remaining. That one, so I'll have to do that one again. Let's try this one up here, see how this one looks. And I've left this for a couple of days as well to set off a little bit at least. Let's dry that off. Yes, I would say that was successful. We'll go over that with some finer grit. So we've got a 1200 here now. Get those scratches out. Nice flat fingers. That's worked a treat. There we go. I will do that on other blemishes I find, because there's a few areas here which have got a couple of fish eyes and bits and bobs, so that will work a treat. I'll have to redo this one down here though, wherever it's gone. I can't see now. Oh, there, because a bit of the fly is still in there. Didn't dig it out enough. I've also started flattening back some of the parts as well with 2000 grit. So I've been working together with a 600 grit to get the nibs out, and then coming back over with 2000 grit, which should polish up. I've plucked up the courage to have a go at one of these runs. This is now a week since it was painted, so it should be hopefully hard enough. If it's not, I'll stop. I've got myself some new razors, thank you Timu, and if whether it will show up or not, I've taken the edges off just by rubbing them on some sandpaper, so they haven't got the sharp edges to dig in. So hopefully this will show up on camera. See if I can get you a bit closer. Right, that's as good as we're gonna get it, I think. I've tried it from different angles, and the other angles don't really show the run up, so we'll have to go with this. And I'm simply going to run the blade over it until it all runs to the blade is running with the paint. So let's see how we get on. There's a few different ways of doing this, and I think there's everybody's got their own opinions on it about wrapping the paint with the blade with tape, put a little bit of filler over it, but let's just have a go. I've taken runs out like this before, so let's see how good we can get this without getting it in the way of you guys. It's quite hard to see the run actually. Now you can see that all I'm simply doing is just shaving the run off to probably show up more on camera now, the difference between the two surfaces. Once this is all shaved off, it'll polish back up again. I'm trying to stop that chattering noise as well, because that's not helping. coming off nicely. That's the perfect noise to make it. It's making that nice scraping noise, like that. Not that chattering noise, although it doesn't appear to be a problem. It's not making what it sounds like. It's making lots of digging in noise like that, but it doesn't appear to be doing that. Again on that one. Well, that's pretty good. I'm gonna get some 2000 grit now and finish that off. And to start with, I'm going to get a little bit of a lollipop stick or paint mixing stick, wrap it around me stick like that, around the paper rather, and so we can grip it like so. And then we've got a nice hard, small surface but hard that we can get this back with nicely. Lovely. I can't feel no run there at all now, and that will polish up very nicely. So what I'll do now is get a bit more paper like so, and with flat fingers just finish that panel off. Okay, so hopefully you'll see that run has now disappeared. All good, no problems. Okay, so let's give that a quick polish up. Just going to use Freckler G3 compound. I'm just going to do this by hand. with a couple of fresh new cloths, microfiber cloths. So do a bit of compound on it. I'm not going to do it with the machines. I don't get on very well with machines. They tend to cause trouble. So I do my polishing by hand, and if somebody's prepared to do it by machine free, happy days, crack on. And this is just a very quick, so I can demonstrate how this paint will polish up. You can see the compound taking the paint, just a very small layer of paint off to get that polish. Fresh cloth in, give it a quick buff up. Like the Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. That's better. Right, bear in mind there's no wax finisher gone on this yet, because the car get waxed eventually to finish it off. That's come up pretty nice. If you'll focus. There we go. That's not too bad. Got rid of the run and restored some shine. Happy days. Right, there we go. That's the run sorted out. I'm happy with that. And the nib in the bonnet, the flies in the bonnet as well sorted out. And what with the flies in the bonnet, I'm going to use a very almost identical process for dealing with deep craters, so fish eyes and what have you. So as I flat the car down and come across fish eyes in the paint, which is a few here and there, but not too bad to be fair, I will put little drops of paint in those as well, so I'm not having to flat so much of the paint around the sides of it to end up with a thin paint. So happy with that, and buoyed by that progress, so we can keep on going.